Hey guys, LordOfPondtail here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Today we're going to be looking at a season hero guide, and it is the S4 Archer's hero Jade Eagle. Let's get straight into Jade Eagle. As I say, Archer's hero, he's a ranged hero. Generally he will be put on your back row, but he can be used in mid row combinations as well. Let's have a look at his skills. Obviously, skill 1 is the Dictator skill, 23,100 bonus marching capacity for your troops. Skill 2 is Rapid Throw, combat skill, effective range 5. Targets 2 of your random enemy squads within effective range. And what's it going to do? 40% chance to attack twice. Each attack randomly selects 2 enemy squads and deals between 57% damage up to 142% damage. Not a massive, well, it's chance based, obviously no guarantees that it's going to actually work many times in the battle. It's not creating a load of damage, but once you max it out, I guess that's what, 284% times 2, so it's close to 600% damage in total, so that's not actually as bad as it seems. Skill 3 is, as usual, the defensive formation skill, which will give between 5% and 50% buff resistance for the troops in your hero squad. And then skill 4, this is completely unique and different for Jade Eagle. Sacred Forest Guardian. Instead of the usual offensive formation skill, which will give you between 5% and 50% increased might, with Jade Eagle, he has this Sacred Forest Guardian skill as a leadership skill, and it is going to do the following, which is archers in hero squad will have between 6% and 60% increased might, so there is that increased might element as well. But then it also has 2 extra elements, which is 20% increased damage dealt and 20% increased damage taken. So there's a positive and a bit of a negative to that, but it's an interesting skill. It's obviously an upgrade, it's an increased might compared to every other hero in the game, particularly every other S hero, which would only have an increase of 50% might, and then you're getting this extra 20% increased damage dealt as well. So he is a real killer hero, as you want from your back row heroes. 5th skill, Heat Seeking Strike. Again, it's a combat skill, its effective range is 5, and it's going to target all 3 of the enemy squads within effective range. It is a prep skill, so it takes 1 turn of prep. And then again, it's a chance skill, only 30% chance to deal between 122% and 310% damage to all of the enemy squads. And then this is an interesting component as well, and the first time we've seen this, it will have different effects, debuffs on each troop type. So if you're up against enemy footmen, they will not be able to recover any units. So if you're up against footmen and the footmen heroes have the recovery skill, this will silence that skill. If you're up against enemy cavalry, then on the next turn, the combat skill damage from the cavalry squads will be decreased by 50%. And if you're up against fellow archers, it will disarm the archers for the next turn. And disarming is when the troops basic attack. So if you're up against archers on the next turn, none of the troops would basic attack your troops. So that is a really good dual skill. If it activates, that's the thing. Only 30% chance, unfortunately. And again, that is kind of the difference between S heroes and these SX heroes. He's still got 2 chance skills in out of his 3. Skill 6 is the Awaken skill as usual, so you'll get the 250% bonus to the leadership skills, maximising your troop count in your squad. And he also has a 15% buff on the might and resistance and 15% bonus damage as well. As I say, back row hero is doing lots of damage. Interestingly, for a back row as well, he is one of the few heroes who has the defensive order for his 7th skill, which means that he will give a 13% up to 40% buff on the resistance of all the troops in your legion, all 3 squads. So that's going to give them a bit of extra protection from damage being dealt by the opposing troops. And then his last skill, 8th skill, it is called Jade Eagle. And it's another combat skill, of course, being a back row hero. And this is, again, effective range is 5. So it can hit any of the opposing enemy squads. But it will only target 2 enemy squads. And this takes 2 turn of prep, so it's unlikely to activate more than a couple of times in a battle. But when it does, well, you've got a 60% chance to deal between 357% and a huge 863%, as it says, massive damage to 2 random enemy squads within range. To this point, this is the most potent offensive combat skill that we've seen. It's it's over 1700% damage with each activation. That is by far and away the most potent damaging skill. 863% to each of those enemy squads. It's going to do a lot. So let's have a look at him in action. He will work in several combinations, and we've had Heroes Duels today, and one of the players in the final had Jade Eagle in a really good combination. So he has got him with Immortal Guardian, the Tarantula, and then Jade Eagle on the back. And this is actually the best combination to have Jade Eagle in. So let's have a look at what happens in this battle. It only lasted 6 turns. And Immortal Guardian, so some of his buffs are going to recover troops in the first 3 rounds of the battle. He also provides buffs to his troops in his squad, and Tara does lots of different elements as well, both offensive and buffing. And then there's that plus 1545 in terms of the Immortal skills. So that's that, and then so that 1545 is that, and then there's the rapid throw that activated. So as you can see, there were 2 squads that had 2 lots of damage, and that was from Jade Eagle. And they're up against cavalry, so we were up against Beast Queen, Rosen, Immortal combination, which is again a very deadly combination. At the start of the battle, you're seeing actually that the cavalry seem to have the upper hand on the archers in terms of this damage being dealt. But Tara does have some very aggressive offensive skills as well, so she's just taken a large chunk out of them. I'm going to speed it up again. So now we've got the heat-seeking strike. So that is going to affect this cavalry legion on the next turn. It dealt the 310% damage to them. And then on turn 4, they're going to suffer that debuff in terms of the damage that they can deal. Now, interestingly, here we go. So here is the heat-seeking strike, and we had the rapid throw-in heat-seeking strike. So that's the double hits, and then a single hit to the front row. And now you're going to see all 3 of Jade Eagle's skills. So that's the double hit, and then look at that minus 20,000 damage on 2 lines of the troops. That was the Jade Eagle skill having a massive impact, and then Tara basically finishes. There's only 1 row left, and Tara basically finishes them off, and the archers have won the battle in 6 turns. So I think that is that's evidence enough that this combination is incredibly potent. You've got Immortal Guardian, who is, as you can see, his second skill is reducing the damage taken by the front row of archers so that they can survive longer. 5th skill, again, it deals minus. So when 2 random enemy squads within range cast combat or basic attack, it's going to deal minus 5% damage, and that stacks up to 40%, minus 40%. So he's making your opponents weaker. And then you've got this recovery as well. And Tara does lots of different things. That plundering charge, a huge amount of damage. Her 5th skill, again, more damage. and then evasive tactics. It does a variety of buffs to the troops in her legion. So and then Jade Eagle again. So you've got a lot. These, as you can see, Jade Eagle, 6 skills used, but killed 155,000 troops. Absolutely ginormous. And when you've got the Tarantula killing nearly 100,000 as well, that's two heroes doing an awful amount of damage against the opponent. And when you've got like this amount of damage going on, there's not going to be any opponents that can suppress this, or not many. You'd have to have someone with heroes that are recovering a lot of troops. Maybe a full-on SX legion of cavalry will have a better chance against this combo. But otherwise, Immortal Guardian, the Tarantula, and then of course Jade Eagle, they're going to make a big difference. Let's go back to Jade Eagle now. Unfortunately, he is one of the heroes that I don't have. But I do have Immortal Guardian and the Tarantula, and I'll definitely be using them in my end game Heroes Legion, but I'll be using them with an SX hero, Spectral Reaper. So when we go back into Jade Eagle, let's talk about unlocking skills. Of course, as he is a ranged hero, when you get that first duplicate for him, you want to unlock the 8th skill first, particularly because of the amount of damage that it does. Then you would unlock the 6th skill to give you that extra troop count, and then finally the 7th skill. In terms of who he works with, so we've already seen the best combination for Jade Eagle, which is with Immortal Guardian and the Tarantula. He'll also work with Immortal Guardian on the front row, and you can put Jade Eagle in the middle row, and then Spectral Reaper and SX3 Archer's hero. That will again be a similar combination to what we've just seen, but with an awful lot of offensive power from Jade Eagle and Spectral Reaper. He will also work if you don't have Tarantula, then you can put Skybreaker in there as well. So if you're in Season 4 of Reign of Chaos, then having Immortal Guardian, the S4 hero, then Skybreaker on your middle row, and Jade Eagle on your back row would be the meta Archers formation at that point. And you can also then have Immortal Guard, or if you don't have Skybreaker, you could use Witch Hunter instead. So that would be Immortal Witch Hunter and Jade Eagle. Those are the best 3 or 4 combinations for him. A very, very good offensive Archer's hero, the second best back row Archer hero in the game. Spectral Reaper would be the meta hero, but Jade Eagle, if you've got Jade Eagle, he's a very, very good hero worth getting. So that's everything on him, guys. I hope you found the video interesting and informative as usual, and please do pop those comments in the comment section below if you want to ask any questions about him or have any questions about other game content in general. I'd really appreciate it if you click that like, and if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I'd really appreciate if you could share my channel in your alliance chats, province chats, guilds chats, and through line, Discord, on WhatsApp, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.